Welcome to our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book really challenges how we think about money, and I'm excited to unpack some of these unconventional ideas with you.
Yeah, it really flips a lot of things on their head.
Right, like the whole concept of the two dads.
It all starts there, right? With
Yeah.
this idea of the two dads.
Exactly. Kiyosaki had these two father figures, his biological father, the poor dad,
Right.
and his friend's father, the rich dad. And they both had totally different perspectives on money and success.
What's fascinating is how those viewpoints really shaped how Kiyosaki views wealth. His poor dad, despite having a good job and education, he struggled financially. He believed in working for money, getting a secure job, playing it safe. But the rich dad had a totally different mindset.
Yeah, the rich dad dropped out of school but built this successful business empire. He focused on acquiring assets that generated income, essentially making money work for him.
Exactly. That's a key takeaway right there. Understanding the difference between working for money and having money work for you. The rich dad stressed escaping the rat race.
Ooh, the rat race. I like that.
You work for a paycheck, you pay your bills, and you end up right back where you started, always trading your time for money.
Like running on a treadmill.
Yeah.
You're working hard but not really getting ahead financially.
Exactly. And Kiyosaki argues that to break free from this cycle, you need to shift your focus
Yeah.
from income to assets.
And that's where it gets really interesting, because he challenges the traditional idea of a house being an asset.
Oh, yeah. Rich Dad, Poor Dad really flips that notion on its head.
It does.
Kiyosaki defines an asset as something that puts money in your pocket, and a liability is something that takes money out.
Okay.
So while a house might appreciate in value over time, it often comes with all these expenses like mortgage payments, property taxes, maintenance, which makes it more of a liability in terms of cash flow.
Wow, that was a real aha moment for me.
It makes you rethink what truly constitutes an asset.
Because we're always told a house is an asset.
Right, and it's not always.
Not necessarily.
So Kiyosaki emphasizes building assets that generate passive income. Think about owning a rental property. You collect rent every month, even while you sleep.
Right.
That's passive income money working for you, even when you're not actively working.
It is. Now, Kiyosaki actually tells this great story about his first business venture with his friend Mike to illustrate this idea of passive income.
Oh yeah, what was that?
They collected used toothpaste tubes, melted them down, and made a comic book stand.
Wow.
And it wasn't really about the small profit they made.
Right.
It was about the entrepreneurial mindset it fostered.
They learned to create value and see opportunities where others didn't.
Exactly.
Which really highlights Kiyosaki's point that working to learn, not just to earn a paycheck, is crucial for building financial intelligence.
Absolutely. It's about developing those skills and that business acumen. That will pay off in the long run. And this ties into another key concept, minding your own business,
Ah, yes, minding your own business.
which doesn't necessarily mean starting a company.
Right. It's more about focusing on building your asset column, acquiring those income-generating assets that work for you, even if you have a job.
So it's about creating a system where your money is working hard for you, even while you're busy with other things.
Exactly.
So we're really seeing this shift in mindset. But how do you actually go about inventing money, like Kiyosaki talks about?
Well, it's about developing that financial intelligence,
Yeah.
which goes beyond just managing money. It's about recognizing opportunities that others just don't see
Right.
and being able to create solutions.
He uses that great example, Alexander Graham Bell, trying to sell the patent for the telephone.
To Western Union for a measly $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine that. Western Union thought it was a joke.
They completely missed out.
They did.
Yeah, it shows how a lack of vision can cause people to miss out on these groundbreaking opportunities.
It's incredible.
And it's not just historical anecdotes. Kiyosaki himself shares how he bought a house for $45,000 and quickly flipped it for $60,000.
He didn't spend months renovating or anything. It was about spotting a good deal and acting decisively.
So it's like that saying, you make your money when you buy, not when you sell.
Exactly.
But he also acknowledges that it's not always easy. He outlines 5 main roadblocks to financial freedom: fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance.
Right, those are the big ones.
Hmm.
Fear can be paralyzing, especially the fear of losing money.
It can.
People cling to the perceived safety of a job, even if it's limiting their financial potential.
It's interesting how he kind of turns that conventional wisdom on its head. Like playing it safe is often seen as the responsible approach,
Right.
but he's saying that can actually be the riskiest move in the long run.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
He doesn't just identify these obstacles, though. Kiyosaki shares his own financial setbacks and emphasizes that failure is often a stepping stone to success.
You have to learn from those mistakes.
He learned from those setbacks and didn't let them derail his goals.
So it's about having that growth mindset, embracing failure as part of the learning process.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, in terms of practical steps, Kiyosaki stresses the importance of financial literacy, understanding cash flow, and developing a long-term vision.
So where do you start?
Well, he suggests reading books, attending seminars, even playing his cash flow board game.
I've heard of that cash flow game.
Yeah.
What's the idea behind that?
Well, it simulates real-life financial scenarios, so players can practice managing cash flow investing, building assets, all in a safe, risk-free environment.
So you can kind of build those financial muscles
Exactly.
without the real-world consequences.
Without going bankrupt in real life.
Right,
It's
exactly.
a great way to learn.
And it ties back to that idea of actively educating yourself about finances,
Right, taking control of your financial education.
not just waiting for someone to teach you.
Exactly.
He also encourages readers to identify their wants and don't wants,
Which is a good exercise.
which I think helps clarify your motivation.
It helps you figure out what you really want.
It's about having a clear picture of the financial future you desire, so you can start creating a roadmap to get there. But there's a section of the book that I found particularly thought-provoking, and maybe a little controversial. It's about taxes.
Oh, yes. Kiyosaki definitely has some strong opinions about taxes.
He does.
He argues that while they were initially presented as a way to redistribute wealth from the rich, they've actually come to impact the middle class more significantly.
And he contends that the wealthy, they understand the tax code and use legal entities like corporations to protect their assets and minimize their tax burden.
Right, it's about knowing the rules of the game.
Exactly.
It's important to understand the historical context here. Kiyosaki isn't advocating for tax evasion. He's highlighting how the system can be used strategically.
Okay.
He believes that incorporating even as an individual can offer significant advantages.
So it's not just for big businesses.
Right, it can benefit anyone.
Interesting.
He argues that incorporating can provide benefits like tax advantages, asset protection, increased financial flexibility.
So it's about leveling the playing field.
Exactly.
It really emphasizes that financial literacy isn't just about managing your money. It's about understanding the rules of the game and using them to your advantage.
Absolute.
And it's not about cheating the system. It's about being informed and making strategic decisions.
Kiyosaki's point is that the wealthy don't necessarily break the rules. They operate within a different set of rules.
Right.
And by understanding those rules, anyone can potentially achieve similar financial success.
It seems like another recurring theme in the book is this idea that traditional education often falls short when it comes to financial literacy.
Oh, absolutely. Kiyosaki's a huge advocate for incorporating financial education into our schooling system.
Yeah?
He believes it's a crucial life skill that we should be teaching kids from a young age.
Yeah, make it part of the curriculum.
Exactly.
He actually created those educational board games like Cash Flow to make learning about finances more engaging and interactive.
It's such a brilliant approach. Instead of just reading about these concepts, players get to experience them firsthand.
They learn by doing.
Exactly. They learn about managing cash flow investing, building assets, all in a safe environment.
So it's a fun way to learn about money
Yeah.
without the real-world risks.
Without the fear of going bankrupt.
Right, exactly.
It takes the pressure off.
Yeah, it's like a financial boot camp, but without the pressure.
Right. Yeah.
But beyond just acquiring knowledge. Kiyosaki also emphasizes the importance of overcoming our fears and those limiting beliefs that we have about money.
Yeah, he argues that fear, especially the fear of failure, can be a major roadblock to financial success.
It holds people back.
It does.
And he encourages readers to step outside their comfort zones, take calculated risks, view failure as a learning opportunity.
It's like that saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take if you're too afraid to lose. You might miss out on some incredible opportunities.
Absolutely.
He shares personal anecdotes of times he took risks and faced setbacks, but ultimately learned valuable lessons from those experiences, and that propelled him forward.
You got to be willing to make those mistakes.
Yeah, and learn from them.
And learn from them.
What's interesting is how he emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people.
Your network.
Exactly. He talks about the power of networking and mentorship. He even says, it's not what you know, but who you know. Now, while that might sound a bit cynical, there's truth to the idea that the people you associate with can influence your success.
They can rub off on you.
Yeah, it's not about using people. It's about the power of learning. from those who have already achieved what you aspire to.
Right. It's about mentorship.
Exactly. Kiyosaki encourages seeking out mentors who can offer guidance and insights.
So find people who are doing what you want to be doing.
Exactly.
And he also talks about the importance of giving back.
Ah, yes.
He calls it being an Indian giver.
Right.
But he's not talking about taking things back.
Yeah.
He's referring to the principle of reciprocity and the power of generosity.
It's about creating a cycle of abundance. Kiyosaki believes that sharing your knowledge and resources can create a ripple effect. It's about giving freely and trusting that it will return to you in unexpected ways.
So it's not just about taking.
Right.
It's about giving back.
Exactly.
He shares examples of how helping others has often led to new opportunities and financial rewards for him.
It comes back around.
It does. It's fascinating how he connects this to the idea that money is an energy and that a mindset of abundance can attract greater wealth.
It's about shifting your perspective.
It is.
He also encourages finding heroes who inspire you
Yeah.
and modeling your behavior after successful individuals in your chosen field.
Find people you admire and learn from them.
Exactly.
And he practices what he preaches. He admires investors like Warren Buffett and Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He studies their strategies and incorporates their principles into his own approach.
He's always learning and growing.
He is.
Throughout the book, Kiyosaki weaves together all these concepts and principles, providing a really compelling argument for why financial literacy is so crucial for achieving success and freedom in today's world.
It's a wake-up call.
It is.
He challenges us to question conventional wisdom, take control of our finances, and create a future where we're not dependent on a job or a paycheck.
It's about empowering yourself.
It is.
And he leaves us with a powerful thought. The single most powerful asset we all have is our mind. So how can you start training your mind today to create the financial future you desire?
That's a great question to ponder. As we wrap up our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's a book that has sparked so many conversations and challenged millions to rethink their relationship with money.
It's a classic for a reason.
It is.
It encourages us to think outside the box, embrace new ideas, and ultimately take control of our financial destiny.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are inspired to start building your own path to financial freedom.
Remember, the journey to financial freedom starts with a single step. So keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of your financial intelligence.